All right, fam, finally. You've convinced me. I got a pair of Superflies to review for you guys. Yes, I know they're the same boot as the Vapor 14, but the Superflies are a little bit different, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so part of the recharge pack from Nike, I got the Superflies in the blue and Volt colorway. I got them in my usual size 9 US, as you can see there. So 9 US comes in the typical Nike silver box, little bit more muted than those gorgeous Tiempo Focus Pack colorway. Obviously that was a special edition release, special edition box, so you guys get the drill. This is a normal Nike box. I'm very excited about these. You guys know that I don't fit in Vapors, but I do appreciate them as one of the best speed boots on the market. They have a fantastic fit and feel on feet if I was the right size. I actually fit in a 9 US and a 9.5 US. The 9.5 US, I do have a little bit of extra space on the end, which again is not something that I prefer, but if you do want a little bit of extra room and you have a wider foot, you could probably go a half size up and be just fine, but I do suggest wearing grip socks regardless. So let's hop into the unboxing. These are gonna be awesome. You guys know, obviously, if you've seen my Vapor 14 review, that is gonna be up in, you guys can check that out and get kind of more technical information. But the Superfly 8s, I did wanna check out just to see if there was any difference in fit and feel. Maybe I like them better than the Vapors, who knows? Okay, so opening the box, very, very typical. Box on the inside, paper is that it says, has the Nike logo and then says delivered from the future in a cardboard box. Nice Nike, very creative, well done. Okay, so we open it up. Ooh, 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 ooh. I like these, okay. These are a cool pair of football boots. Wow. Okay, so the blue, let's get these out of the box for a second. So gorgeous, there you go, look at that. Gorgeous pair of Superflies, well done. Nike, pretty straightforward. Okay, I'm gonna open them up fully. We'll check out the string bag. There's the other one. Okay, so the string bag is a very typical Vapor string bag with the Mercurial logo, the Nike logo, and then it's got Mercurial on the end. So awesome. I'd give this colorway 6.5 out of 10. I'm not a huge fan of blue and yellow, but that's just my own personal preference. Let's get these off the table. Okay, here we go. So these are the Vapor, sorry, they're not Vapors, they're Superfly 8s. These are the Superfly 8 Elites in the firm ground variation, so you've got tons of chevron studs. And let's talk a little bit about these boots. So the only thing, and I mean the only thing that differs from the Vapor 14 and the Superfly 8 Elite on both end in firm ground, all ground, whatever, is this collar portion. So it's not as high as, say, something like the Superfly 4 that came out for the World Cup in 2014, that original dynamic fit collar. This is a dynamic fit collar, but it is much shorter. So this is actually an interesting one because back when the World Cup came around, Cristiano Ronaldo was wearing those original gorgeous like red and it was kind of a red orangey color with the yellow stripes. I'll put a picture up here as well so you guys can see that. So the original launch colorway, and Ronaldo was wearing a custom collar height that wasn't the normal high cut. It was almost exactly like this. And a lot of players you started to see other players wearing the shorter collar because the higher collar was obnoxious. In a lot of cases, like I had issues at some point with the Magista Obras, when I cut my socks, the socks actually went over the dynamic fit collar, which was super awkward and gross looking. And so for some players, especially those who have grip socks, they could have lowered this, first of all, for comfort, but second of all, they've made it a little bit more snug around your foot, I think. So I'm actually really curious to see how they fit and feel on feet in that sense, right? So how do they fit with the extra tightness around the collar? Hopefully, it's a little bit higher than those Phantom GT1 DFs which is dynamic fit, by the way, if you didn't know that. So the DFs, I don't know if it'll probably be more tight than that, and it's going to go a little bit higher. So we'll see if I actually, I'm curious to know my thoughts. The similar to the Vapor 14, the Superfly 8 Elite is made of this new Vapor Posit synthetic, and it is very, very soft. Let me get this out of here so I can, one more, so I can show you guys kind of how soft and pliable these are. So if you look, this is a really, really pliable upper. So it's really, really soft. Well, that's not true. I wouldn't say it's traditionally soft. I would say it's got lots of structure to it, but it is really malleable. And that's something that's super important for a lot of people. A lot of people really like to be able to flex their toes, move their feet, and really feel the ball in that barefoot sensation. And for a very, very long time, since I'd say Gen maybe 3 or 4 of the Superfly, especially Gen 4 with the introduction of the Flyknit material, which this one obviously doesn't have anymore, but it's always had a really nice barefoot sensation that feels super raw on feet. It's a very barefoot-like, very, very conscious effort to make the sensation on ball feel as natural as possible, like a barefoot. So they've continued that. The Vapors definitely felt like that as well. So I'm really hoping that these fit very similarly to that. So this is, again, as an objective football boot, this is one of the best on the market. Superfly, Vapor, the Vapor especially always has been, and I hope always will be at the top echelon of what boot tech can have. I'd love to see more introduction of a carbon fiber sole. That would be awesome, similar to what the X has done. But this sole plate, not really any complaints other than it's far too aggressive to wear on artificial grass. So if you do predominantly play on artificial, get the AG version of this. These are unsafe. I have so many stories of people who have messaged me saying, dude, what do I do? I just tore my ACL because I was wearing this type of stud on an AG pitch and it really screwed my knee up or my ankle or whatever. And it is not a story that I want to come from you watching right now. So that is something to keep in mind as well. Let's talk colorway. So this again is part of the Nike Recharge Pack. So the Phantom GT2s are like a white on the bottom with blue, and I would say, I don't know how it's gonna look. I'll have to figure this out in post once I start editing and doing some color grading on the video. But in real life, these look blue from a distance, but you get them up close and they're almost like a purple blue. So it is pretty cool. They are pretty cool. The classic Volt yellow swoosh, Volt yellow accents on both the heel and the forefoot area, and then you've got these matte blue and purple accents through this ridge right here in the back. So again, as a colorway, 6. It's probably like a 5 out of 10 for me. I'm not huge about this colorway. I think it's cool. Again, it's a typical Nike colorway. They've got to come up with some really good ones and some not so good ones, and then a lot of just like, yeah, that's cool kind of colorways. This one definitely is not one of my favorites, but technologically, this is a very, very cool boot. I do wish that I fit in a pair of Vapors. That being said, I'm not a huge fan of bladed studs, so I would probably, especially in this formation, these are very geared towards forward movement, which if you do want a boot that's going to make you feel like you're on your toes and make you feel fast, that is definitely something to consider. This boot is definitely something to consider if you are interested in that type of vibe or you want that type of technology, right? So again, nothing more than the collar is different from the Vapor 14. Very excited to see how these fit and feel. Again, these are a 9 US. I'm trying to think of anything else that I want to cover. Most of the other information that you want about like how this boot actually works, go check out my Vapor review, because this is sort of a redundant review in that sense, but I did want to try on the Superfly for you guys because I got a ton of questions about, hey, try on the Superfly 14. We want to see what it looks like on feet. Want to see if it fits wide-footed players, blah, blah, blah. I don't think this is going to fit any different than the Vapor 14, and I can tell you that the Vapor 14, again, is objectively a great pair of football boots if you fit in them. Superfly is probably the same because it's the same boot, except for the collar. So if you do really like the collar, you like the look of it, you like the feel of it, you like the mental edge it gives you. It's got 0 performance benefits. It's got 0 structural integrity, i.e. it's not going to prevent injuries. It's not going to prevent you from twisting your ankle. It's just there to assist in the seamless sensation that the boot has on your feet. It's supposed to make you feel like you have a sock on instead of having a sock and then a boot. This kind of offers that midway between the sock and the boot, blah, blah, blah. Marketing bullshit, okay? We get it. However, I might like these better than the Vapor on feet. Let's go find out. All right, fam, I've got the Superfly 8 Elites with me. They are, get these shoes out of the way. They are in this really cool recharge pack colorway, and I don't mean cool as in I would wear it or I like it. I just mean it's very unique and very it's very Nike, to be honest. Like kind of big color, big blue, bold color with the neon accents. So the Vapors are usually way too tight for me, so I hope I can actually fit in this Superfly. Oh, nice. Slide right in. There you go. Okay. So first thing I notice right away is the collar. The collar definitely has a interesting feel to it. It's not as aggressive a collar as the old gen ones that were like way up the ankle. This one's a lot more subtle. So again, great structure to the upper. I like the way that, like, I wish they made a wider fitting boot in this same material because I think it's absolutely fantastic. This, I'm trying to remember what it's called, Vapor Posit, that's right. So the Vapor Posit does a really nice job of molding to your feet, but also having a ton of structure and rigidity. So I know that's kind of oxymoronic there, but basically what it feels like is it's like putting your feet in Flyknit, except the Flyknit molds a tiny bit, but doesn't ever stretch. It just molds to the shape of your foot and then holds that shape really nicely. And I actually really like the way that they wrap my foot. They're definitely too thin, right? Obviously they're much too thin for my liking as a wide-footed player, but I definitely think if they made a Vapor that was much wider or significantly wider on a wider last or like a wide variation, definitely would pick up a pair of these, because I do think, again, the Vapor is a great boot. It offers a really nice barefoot sensation on feet. The Vapor Posit is awesome. It's not gonna get soaking wet, so if you get these boots wet or like really wet or in a ton of rain, it's not going to be a big deal because it's perfectly fine as far as because it is a synthetic. Obviously it's not going to get soaking wet and heavy, and the sole plate is very aggressive, so sideways movement and pivoting, again, would not recommend wearing them on this type of surface, this AG surface. But if you were playing on natural grass, I think this sole plate is one of the best aggressive sole plates on the market if you are into the chevron studs, which are the ones that are shaped like this. So it really offers a good traction moving forward. I think the band in the middle, so on the sole plate, offers a really good amount of spring back and structure to that midfoot area as you are taking a step forward, as you're pivoting and stuff. Obviously, it's nothing like the Carbitex insert from the Speedflow Plus or the 0.1, but then again, you can't have everything, I guess. If Nike put a Carbitex insert in here, it might be the best boot on the market. I don't know. Objective performance would say probably, but again, these are a very, very nice pair of football boots, and if I fit in them, would be more than happy to wear. Now, if you're picking between the Vapor 14 and the Superfly 8, which are these ones, honestly, I don't think it really matters. I think it's a personal preference, right? So if you like the little collar area, then great. If you don't like the collar area, also great. You have options for either one. Both fit exactly the same. It's not going to make a difference. The heel is the exact same, and the inside, the boot itself, feels the exact same. Everything is the same except for the little amount of material that they added to the ankle area, and that is it. It is super simple, super easy, and it makes your choice very, very, I don't know, very easy. If it was me and I actually fit in a Vapor, I would take the Vapor over the Superfly, and that's because there's a $50 price premium for a little bit of knit material, which in my opinion is absolute crap. Like, it's way too expensive. They're like $275 to get the pair with the collar. If they were the same price and it was just a little bit of ad for the collar, then okay, maybe. I do like the way that these feel. I like the collar, it's kind of cool, but I'd probably take a Vapor at the end of the day anyway, because it's just a no BS, great, fantastic, reliable speed boot. That's it for the review of the Superfly 8 Elite from Nike. I'm very excited to have gotten these in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Post lots of boot reviews, tons of day in the life, and more pro football or soccer content. As always, guys, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next